Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Braxton Wheeler. This year I'm going to be the host for First Pitch. I'm going to be sitting down every week with Ryan Brittle. We're going to be discussing everything dealing with Ferrum baseball, about the schedule, stat lines, headlines, just everything involved in Ferrum baseball. I took over for my buddy Ty Comer the last 2 years. He's been in my shoes right here. Now he's on to bigger and better things. So Comer, if you want to send me some advice, if you're watching this, feel welcome to.
He's gonna watch.
Oh, he will.
He'll be the only one to watch.
I know, that's right.
He's gonna watch.
So, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Ready to get going.
Yes, sir,
you know, when the cold wind starts blowing through your hair, if you got any,
that's right.
It's baseball season.
So you got that haircut. So we're gonna start first of all talking about wrapping up last season. So, Coach, last season we went 22-18 as overall, and our conference record was 13-5. I believe that we did pretty good in conference, I would say, but there's a couple games that we all know we probably could have finished better. Maryville, we let one slip away there. Methodist, we played good the first game, and the last two after that it's like we barely showed up, and we definitely could have done better. But thoughts on last season, Coach?
It was a solid season, especially in conference. We had some young guys going on the mound during the week, and they took their bumps along with the rest of us. There were times we started 5 or 6 freshmen in the game, and guys like Dylan Weaver, Ty Comer, Lane Deaver, Joe Stickney, Jared Talley are going to be sorely missed. But that's the nature of the beast, and you can't replace those guys. You just try to move on and do the best you can. So we look forward to this year.
Yeah, definitely in the locker room. I knew this year I looked up to Comer, Stickney, Weaver, and all them, and Deaver and Talley so much that I knew this year was going to be hard to find somebody to replace. And I think we've had some good young leaders, like Tim Ortega has done a good job. Jake Collins stepped up and did a good job. Them two won a captain rollover. And obviously Jake Martin. And we've also had some other guys step up and try to be a vocal leader and stuff. So definitely we're going to miss those guys. But as a whole, yeah, it's going to be different without them. So LaGrange actually last year, they were 40-6 overall, and they went 16-2 in the conference. And they had an outstanding year, a great year LaGrange did, and we actually weren't far behind them in finishing the conference standings last year. So let's talk about the preseason rankings this season. LaGrange has finished to pick first. They have 7 first-place votes, 107 points overall. Piedmont second, and we're tied with Maryville for third. Wesleyan fifth, Greensboro sixth, Huntington seventh, Methodist eighth, William Peace ninth, Covington 10th, Averett 11th. And Coach, can you help me pronounce
Berea?
Berea. That's I was trying to do it last night, and I was like,
Berea's 12th, and Brevard and Pfeiffer aren't eligible for postseason play this year.
Yeah, so obviously preseason rankings are clearly just something that you have to work for, and you're going to have to live up to the expectation. And with thoughts on preseason rankings?
It's similar to what actually I voted on for preseason rankings. All the coaches vote. They don't vote for themselves. They vote for everybody else. Certainly, we have some work to do to make up some ground with LaGrange. Piedmont finished the season as hot as anybody last year. But preseason rankings are just preseason rankings, and the optimism is high for every single team on that list, and they're all ready to go, including us.
Yes, sir. So how do you believe our team's fall went this year as a whole, like team chemistry-wise and work ethic-wise?
Work ethic-wise, this is every year I think we've built on the previous year as far as work ethic goes, and this is no different than that. I should probably ask you this question more than you should ask me, but we work pretty hard.
Yeah, we do.
And we bust you guys' tail, and you guys have received all of it with no gripes, no complaints, just sticking your nose to the grindstone and getting it done. And team chemistry comes out of that work ethic. You get to look around and see see who's working hard and who's not working hard. And there aren't many guys on this team, if any, that don't work. And there's a lot of guys that work really hard.
And as being a junior on the field here, I would have to agree with Coach Brittle. I'd say every year that I've been here, we've improved on team chemistry. All the guys in the locker room have one collective goal in mind, and that's to win as many ball games as possible. And that's really what our motto, I believe, here is at Ferrum. Whatever you do, whatever your role is on the team, you have to accept it and do what you can to win baseball games. And when you have that one collective goal in mind, I believe that's definitely a recipe for success this year. So All right, so Coach, what do you think of our schedule this year? Our first 2 games. Last year, I believe, how many games we opened up with on the road? Was it 13 or 12 or something?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Something crazy. So this year we're starting out with Christopher Newport at home this year, so it's going to be good to get a home opener next weekend. And then I believe we go to Georgia and we play Birmingham Southern.
Birmingham
Southern,
Piedmont, and Virginia Wesleyan. So first 5 games in our conference, all those teams could make it to a regional.
That's
you
right.
know, they're solid quality teams, and our schedule is going to be tough as always. USA South is always tough, and then most of our midweek games are littered with ODAC teams. So you play most of your games in the ODAC and the USA South, you're going to get a tough schedule out of it.
Yeah.
So.
And I believe this is probably as a player, and I probably speak for the majority of our team, it's probably one of the hardest times of the season, because when you're here in the fall, you know we're always, you know that you have a whole entire off season ahead of you. You're going to do a lot of lifting, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Get up at 6 a.m. on Fridays, and first week of class, you have Hell Week along with it, and you have fall practices. But I believe when it gets this time of year, you move back into college, and you have your classes, and you're thinking, man, I only got a couple weeks, and then we're playing games. But when you get in the midst of it, you know, we still had about a month before we play a baseball game, and now everybody's just ready to play somebody else. Pitchers been facing the same batters, and the batters have been facing the same hitters. So I believe it's a really tough time for players as ourselves. And I think we've handled the challenge really well. We're ready for a tough upcoming schedule, and I definitely think we're ready for the challenge. So, Coach, next question I have for you is kind of a team question, because obviously I'm trying to speak for the whole team here. We have a lot of depth, especially on the whole entire field, but we have the DH position in particular. We have a lot of guys that can hit. Coach, how do you handle all the depth at this position?
I don't know.
You don't know? Yeah.
So you get a feel for guys when they're swinging the bat in BP, and so you get a feel for how they're swinging it, how they're going to do at the plate, and you try to, the best you can, you try to match up the guys with the pitcher on the mound that day that you think are going to have the most success. And we do have several guys that we think can swing it. And we got some right-handed hitters that we can put in the lineup against a left-handed pitcher if we need to, and vice versa. I think one of the great things about our lineup is it's kind of dynamic, versatile, and there's a lot of different, left-handed. We got left-handed hitters. We got left-handed hitters that can run. We got left-handed hitters with a little pop. We got right-handed hitters that can run. We got right-handed hitters with a little pop. So we can, throughout the entire lineup, we can put some diversity in there that will make it really tough on the opposing pitcher to be able to lock in and throw. He won't be able to lock in and throw the same pitch over and over and over again and get us all out. So it's certainly a commodity to have, and it's something that I'll fall asleep. You know, I talk to you guys a lot about laying in bed at night and thinking about what we need to do to get better. And that's one of the things that I'll be thinking about on February the 9th when I go to bed on Friday night, waking up the next day on February the 10th, getting ready to play a ball game. So. We'll just it'll be a day-by-day thing, and I'm sure whoever's in there will compete. One of the great things about our team is we're unselfish, and we like the guy standing beside us, and we're going to root for him regardless of whether we're in there or not. So it's really makes it a lot easier as a coach.
That's right. Coach always says you're not going to have enough success yourself in this game. What is the quote? You're not the most success in this game yourself. You have to root for others because
enjoy the success of others, because you never have enough success in this game all the time to be happy.
That's right.
And that doesn't come from me. A lot of you guys that are going to listen to that are going to know exactly who that comes from, because it comes from Coach Naff. It's one of his great lines.
Yeah, it's definitely the truth. And so Coach, I was looking up a little stat. So you and your staff have been here for 4 years. You probably, obviously, he's not going to probably want to brag on himself like that necessarily, but I'm going to go ahead and do it for me. You're 4 years here. You're 94-62. Your conference record is 61-29. You've had all 4 winning seasons, and you've won 2 regular season conference championships. So how do you and maybe your staff each year as coaches with some success under your belt improve year to year?
So every year something will come up that we'll identify as something that as a need for our team to help make them better. And as you know, our goal is not to win tomorrow's ball game. That's a minor goal, I would say. Our goal is not to win the conference championship. Our goal is not to win the region championship. Our goal is to win a national championship. And we haven't gotten it right yet. We've gotten closer every year, I believe, but we haven't gotten it right yet. So you have to do something a little bit different every year in order to try to figure out what it is that makes it right that year to win a national championship. So that's kind of the way we go about it. And all those numbers they're great numbers. They're not my numbers. You know, they're the players' numbers and they're the coaching staff's numbers collectively. And not one person can do it by themselves. You have to have a lot of good people around you. The administration's numbers too, you know. I actually have been through some of those numbers, and we've won more games, regular season games, and more conference games than any other team in our conference in the last 4 years. It's pretty good.
It's awesome. It's a testament to Ferrum baseball and really what they're about, and we have to buy into what exactly they want us to do. And when we do that, you see how many games we can win, and that's the goal this year as well. So, Coach, the last question I have for you today, you told us the other day, I believe in the locker room, or you told us in the cage, that you are becoming a foster parent, you and your wife. And what led you to make this decision? It's an awesome decision.
So we don't have enough headaches from all the young men that are on our team every day. And so we decided to go through the foster parenting process and become foster parents. And hopefully, by the grace of God, by the end of the year, we'll have a young child in our house that's not biologically ours, but we'll think of it that way. And the reasons why we do it, we have a good home. We have a lot of love to give, and our kids are also behind this. We have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Our 7 and 5-year-old, we sat down and we asked them if this would be something that they wanted to do, and they said absolutely. And Rebecca and I think I've always thought that adoption would be great. Although this isn't adopting, it's similar, and we just look forward to giving a child in our area a home that is loving, and that where they can maybe have a little bit better experience than they might have in their original home. And so the need is out there, and we're going to do it.
Sure.
And we look forward to it. We actually start classes on Thursday, 2 days from today, and we'll do some classes, do some paperwork, and then by the summer we'll be ready to foster a child.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a great decision that you're making. And so, guys, we open up next weekend versus CNU, like we said, 1 p.m. on Saturday, 1 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, February the 10th against Christopher Newport here at home, Panther Field. Right. We hope everybody comes, and we specifically hope that all the alumni and the friends of our program, the people that have done so much, come look at our schedule and come to one game. Come to one game this year. Also, another thing that I want to announce real quick, and then we'll wrap it up because we're over time, but October the 13th of 2018 is going to be the baseball alumni game. We had an alumni game this past fall. Our guys had a blast. I know the alumni had a blast. Some of them got hurt. We won't mention any names.
Andy Callahan.
But more than one got hurt for sure. But we had a fantastic time, and we hope that we get hundreds of Ferrum baseball alumni back and here. And if you don't play in the game, then you can enjoy the festivities.
That's right. There's no excuses not to be there next year. We're giving you a long time ahead to think about it.
October 13th, 2018,
that's right.
Baseball alumni game.
That's all right. Well, that's all I got. Do you have anything else to say, Coach?
I'm good, man.
All right. Well, that's all I have to say. From First Pitch, me, Head Coach Ryan Brittle, will either be with you next week or for the following week to wrap up after the CNU series. Thank you.